We're in my music room and I'll give you a quick look at it here. At the moment, I've got this equipment here, right? I've got a PC, 2 monitors, and I've got an audio cakewalk. It's called a Sonar V Studio, and that's to control my music. I have a mixer here and 2 big speakers on each end of the room to give me a nice big sound. And I've got a few guitars down there. Then up at this end I've got some more guitars on the wall. Some of them are very nice guitars, in fact. And what I'm going to do is replace the PC with this beast here, because the PC over there is 10 years old. I bought it in Panama when I lived down there 10 years ago, and it's time to upgrade. So this is probably the last PC I'm ever going to buy or build. So I thought, well, let's get a decent one. So this is a beast of a thing, and you can see in there it's got a fan at the back, and it's got 2 fans over there, and apparently they all light up RGB. Then around here on the other side I've got a fistful of cables. Let me turn some light on here so we can see what we're doing. There we are. I've got a fistful of cables here, and hopefully these will all connect into the motherboard without too many problems. And then on the front here you can see we've got the various USB connectors, USB 2, USB 3, audio in and out and all that stuff. So I've got all the bits. I'll show you all the bits, and then I'm just going to start building it. I'll do a quick vlog of the build. I don't want to bore you too much with it, but we'll just do it quickly. Here's the motherboard, an MPG 2390, an MSI, and it is a beast of a thing. It's got loads of connectors on it, loads of stuff on it. I'll just tell you briefly that processor goes there, memory goes here, graphics card's going to go there, and there's 2 M2 slots. There's one there, and there's another one underneath this heatsink, and that's for fast hard disks that actually go on the motherboard. So I'm going to build this. I used to build servers when I worked for the UN and ship them out to the field, and I'll tell you what, this is more difficult than building a server. Here are 2 SSD memory cards that go straight onto the motherboard, so they're really fast. They're 960 gigabytes each, so that's quite good. Then over next to them I've got the memory, which is 64 gig of Corsair Vengeance memory, and it says RGB, which means that the memory will light up. How about that? This is the graphics card, a GeForce RTX 2080. Quite a beast of a card. You can see it's got 3 fans here to keep it cool. That should do the trick. Inside this cool blue plastic container is the processor. Let's have a quick look at that. And here we have an Intel 9th generation i9 processor. This thing should go like the hammers. To keep that processor cool, we have a liquid CPU cooler. Now this thing has a radiator there, look, like you'd have in your car. And then here, this thing here sits on top of the CPU, and it's a pump, and it pumps liquid up through the radiator and keeps it cool. But in order to do that, you also need these 3 fans here, which sit on top of the radiator and suck all the heat out of the box, the computer box. So that's another bit of the jigsaw puzzle that has to be assembled and installed. I've gone ahead and started the build. I've stripped the case down to get everything in. I'm not going to go through this screw by screw because it's all on the internet if you really want to do it. It's just to give you an idea of what's going on. There's the power supply in. Cables go out the back and they come back in again here to the motherboard. On the motherboard I've got 4 memory cards here, 64 gig. There's the i9 processor, and here I've got an M2 SSD, a memory card. which is 960 gigabytes, and there's another one underneath there. So that's 2 of those hard disks, if you like. Now, one thing I did notice, which I will mention when anybody is building this, you've got to put this plate in the back here for the cooler for the CPU. Now actually there's a bit of movement in it, a few millimeters. And I thought, well, that shouldn't be, but I went online and I found a forum, and apparently that is okay, because when you screw the cooler, the pump onto the processor, it all tightens up nicely. Here you can see I've installed the pump for the processor. And the pump connects up to those fans up there, 3 fans. The last major component has been installed. There's a graphics card there. Big, hefty graphics card, 3 fans underneath it, which you can't see. And it's time to power up and see what happens. Okay, I'm ready to power on. I don't know how this is going to work. There's a switch in the back here. Okay, I've got 2 red lights in the graphics card. That's all I have. So, when I press the button at the front, I'm afraid. Okay. Well, we have power. We have light. I'm just sitting here watching this PC cycling through all different colors. Gorgeous lights coming from the memory chips. The pump on the processor is changing color. I mean, it's just really nice. And I think what surprises me the most, I wasn't ready for this, is that at the moment there are a total of 9 fans in this machine. There's 3 on the top to keep the processor cool. There's 3 for the graphics card, and there's 1 in the back and 2 in the front. And do you know what? I can't hear them at all. It's as quiet as anything. Now, to me, doing sound recording and stuff in here, you know, when I want things to be quiet, compared to my old PC, this is fantastic. I suppose the next step is to connect up a monitor and see what happens. I need to then configure the BIOS and put utilities on there, and then software and Windows, and that's going to take about a week. And here is the completed PC, all boxed up with the glass on, ready to connect. Let's just switch it on one last time, see if the lights look like in through the glass case. Let's power up. The light on the bottom of the monitor is red. That means there's no connection. Ah, it's gone green. Something gonna oh look, MSI. Oh, look at that. Isn't that a beautiful sight? Huh? Press a key. So here's the BIOS. Everything seems to be working. It's telling me that the CPU temperature is 29 degrees Celsius. Well, of course, that's great, but of course, CPU isn't doing anything at the moment, so of course it's going to be low. So now I need to install Windows. Let's see where we go from there. So I finally finished the build. A few issues. The main one being that when I went to install Windows 10 off a DVD, I realized there was no CD-ROM player in the PC, and there was nowhere to fit one either. That seems to be the way things have gone these days. You know, either you have a USB external DVD player, or you install off a memory stick or something. So fortunately, I found an external Blu-ray player that I bought about 3 or 4 years ago and I never used. And so I got it installed. Everything is fine. I've got Premiere Pro on there. It's whizzing along. I'm going to shut down that old PC which is behind me there. I've got to take some stuff off it. There it is on the floor. Look. And so that's it. So the next thing you're going to see is this video which I'm going to edit on my new machine.